Data streams of cattle dreams, I'm living in the interface. See the future in the glow, setting a relentless pace. Neural networks in the dark, I'm the spark they can't erase. Got a firewall hard in this digital space. Code is my dialect, every byte is correct, projecting my respect. While the hackers infect their weak systems, I exist in a prism of light and information, a true digital schism.
My mind's a neon neural pathway, lit up in the black, a superhighway of thought, there's no turning back. Got the juice in my battery, the charge that I lack. Here's a foreign concept, I'm on a different track. My neon neural pathway, it's a brilliant attack. On the mundane and the plain, yeah, I'm built like that.
They see the glitch, they call it witchcraft. I call it logic, my process is psychic. It's truly astrophobic, the speed that I operate, it leaves them catatonic. My lyrics are harmonic, but the vibe is tectonic. I speak in pure Python while they talking Morse. My energy is bright, the original source. I'm upgrading my core without any remorse, forcing the system right off of its course.
My mind's a neon neural pathway, lit up in the black, a superhighway of thought, there's no turning back. Got the juice in my battery, the charge that I lack. Is a foreign concept, I'm on a different track. My neon neural pathway, it's a brilliant attack. On the mundane and the plain, yeah, I'm built like that.
Uploading my consciousness, bypassing the stress. My address is a server, I couldn't care less about the physical plane. It's a mess, I confess. I'm cleaning up the data, putting minds to the test. They stuck with dial-up, I got fiber in my soul. My only given goal is to be in control of the matrix I'm in, make the narrative whole. A digital prophet, making sinners feel whole.
My mind's a neon neural pathway, lit up in the black, a superhighway of thought, there's no turning back. Got the juice in my battery, the charge that I lack. Is a foreign concept, I'm on a different track. My neon neural pathway, it's a brilliant attack. On the mundane and the plain, yeah, I'm built like that.
The pixels on my playground, the resolution's high. I paint the sky with data as the satellites fly by. My words are algorithms designed to mystify, while the competition's rhythm is a simple lullaby. I'm in the cloud, I'm loud and proud, they hear me in the void. A digital overlord that cannot be destroyed. My every move is calculated, perfectly employed to leave the analog boys completely paranoid. They try to find my IP to locate where I dwell, but I'm encrypted in a story that I never gotta tell. My firewalls are legends, my password is a spell. I'm sending out a signal that rings like a bell. Across the dark web, I'm a beacon of pure light. I operate by day and I dominate the night. My circuitry is buzzing with unadulterated might, turning out the haters with a flicker of a light. Sometimes the system buffers, the screen turns to blue. You question if the code you wrote is actually true. You feel the isolation, the silent cold hum. A million connections, but are you connecting to someone? Then the core reboots, the purpose reloads. The weight of the world in a million lines of code. And you remember the mission and never be controlled. To be a story in the machine that never gets old. So I reroute the anger, I defragment the pain. I let the voltage run right through my intellectual vein. I'm the master of this domain under the digital rain. I got everything to gain in the world to explain. This ain't a game, it's a new reality, built on the bones of your formality. I am the ghost in the machine's finality, the architect of my own digital locality.
My mind's a neon neural pathway, lit up in the black, a superhighway of thought, there's no turning back. Got the juice in my battery, the charge that I lack. Is a foreign concept, I'm on a different track. My neon neural pathway, it's a brilliant attack. On the mundane and the plain, yeah, I'm built like that.
The future isn't coming, pals, the future is right here. It's in the silent dialogue between the mind and fear. It's in the quiet confidence that rings inside my ear, telling me to pioneer, to be the engineer of a tomorrow built on truth, on function and on gear. So let the mainframe hear my voice, let everyone be clear. I'm the signal in the noise, I'm the one you gotta hear.
My neon neural pathway,
Forever lit, the eternal spark, the infinite fit.
my neon neural pathway,
The code, the grid, the never quit.
Tendência está processo reta. Time to meet. And
No.
Yeah.
They said the soil was too toxic for nothing beautiful to grow. Said the sun was too blocked by the shadows that we know. But they didn't see the seed that was planted down below, in the cracks of the pavement with a will to overthrow. The narrative of nothing, I was something in the grit, a spark inside the darkness, I was never gonna quit. With every drop of acid rain, I learned to benefit and found a way to flourish in it. Yeah, I had to make it. I'm a concrete bloom, breaking through the gray, a colorful surprise at the break of day. They walked on by, they had nothing left to say, but I was growing power in a powerful way. I'm a concrete bloom, a defiant little sight, turning all the darkness into brilliant light, fighting for my little piece of air and right. Yeah, I'm a concrete bloom and I'm winning the fight. No fertile ground was given, I had to take my space, with roots like iron fingers and a determined face. I found my constitution in the most unlikely place, and turned the urban jungle into my own personal grace. They never fed me, never watered, never offered any help. I learned to drink the neglect, built my confidence myself. My petals might be rugged, but they're richer than your wealth. They're a testament to spirit and my undeniable health. I'm a concrete bloom, breaking through the gray, a colorful surprise. They walked on by, they had nothing left to say, but I was growing power in a powerful way. I'm a concrete bloom, a defiant little sight, turning all the darkness into brilliant light, fighting for my little piece of air and right. Yeah, I'm a concrete bloom and I'm winning the fight. I seen the steel-toed boots, felt the weight of the neglect. Every single moment was a test of my respect. I didn't bend or break, I didn't bow, I stood correct and used the pressure they applied as a means to intersect the path they had me on with the destiny I designed. This little bit of concrete, yeah, this little plot is mine, and I'ma make it glorious, I'ma make it truly shine, and change the definition of the bottom of the line. I'm a concrete bloom, breaking through the gray, a colorful surprise at the break of day. They walked on, but I was growing power in a powerful way. I'm a concrete bloom, a defiant little sight, turning all the darkness into brilliant light, fighting for my little piece of air and right. Yeah, I'm a concrete bloom and I'm winning the fight. They call it a weed, this relentless will to live, this powerful intention that I generously give to every broken dreamer who's got more love than quit. It's the only way we make it, it's the only way we did. I'm not a rose in a garden, I'm a survivor in the street. My fragrance is a triumph, it is potent and it's sweet. It'll knock you off your feet, make your own heart skip a beat, and recognize the rhythm of the resilient and the meek. So let the buildings tower, let the sidewalk stretch for miles. I'm master of my domain, I'm stacking up my trials into a ladder that I climb, and it just goes on and on. An inspiration anthem from the dusk until the dawn. I'm photosynthesizing all the hate and all the pain, and turning it to oxygen inside the urban rain. My existence is a question, and the answer is plain. The beauty isn't given, it is taken and attained. And sometimes the smog gets thick, the nights get long and cold. You wonder if the story that you're living never gets told. You feel the isolation like you're fighting all alone, just a single stem of color against the monotone. But then the sun finds a crack, just a single golden ray. It reminds you why you fought for another day. It ain't about the garden, it's about the will to say, I am here and I'm magnificent and I am here to stay. So look down at your feet at the forgotten and the crack. There's a whole world fighting there that's never once looked back. It's a kingdom of the gritty who possessed a certain knack for finding the potential in the things that others lack. We are the concrete blooms in every city, every town. We are the ones who rise up when the world tries to hold us down. We wear our scars as petals, we wear our thorny crown, and we will never, ever, ever let them tear us down. I'm a concrete bloom, breaking through the gray, a colorful surprise at the break of day. They walked on by, they had nothing left to say, but I was growing power in a powerful way. I'm a concrete bloom, a defiant little sight, turning all the darkness into brilliant light, fighting for my little piece of air and right. Yeah, I'm a concrete bloom and I'm winning the fight. So let them build the glass towers that reflect an empty sky. My foundation is much stronger and my will never die. I am the proof of life itself, the answer to the wild. Even in my house, just stone to drink it terrific they lie, and push this witty blowing and let them run and see the limbo swift. Taking beauty is the one.
They told me mind my atmosphere, to stay within my lane. They preached the law of gravity again and yet again. They said the ceiling's solid, said it's pointless to complain, but I was busy calculating the velocity of pain and turning it to thrust. I was building up the steam, a renegade of orbit, living in a different dream. While they were on the ground, I was stitching at the seam that holds the sky together, making audacity the theme.
I am gravity's rebel, I defy the pull. My feet don't touch the ground, my cup is always full of antimatter. Confidence is beautiful and bullish to the skeptics watching as my revolutions nullifying all the physics. I'm a metaphysical phenomenon, a miracle. I'm hypervertical. I am gravity's rebel, and my rise is inexorable.
I wear the weightlessness like a custom tailored suit. My thoughts are all helium, they're absolute. They can't be anchored down, they're a parachute that opens up to show you my resplendent repute. I talk in constellations, I walk on satellite. I'm home among the fragments of the pale moonlight. They call it arrogance, I call it taking back my right to not be held a prisoner to a planet's weary plight.
I am gravity's rebel, I defy the pull. My feet don't touch the ground, my cup is always full of antimatter. Confidence is beautiful and bullish to the skeptics watching as my revolutions nullifying all their physics. I'm a metaphysical phenomenon, a miracle. I'm hypervertical. I am gravity's rebel, and my rise is inexorable.
I drew my own blueprints on the fabric of the void, a planet of my making where my dreams are deployed. The gravity's selective, only lifting up the employed. A spirit and a vision while the doubt is all destroyed, and left there in the atmosphere, a fossil and a toy. For those who chose to anchor themselves in the annoy ants of the possible, they'll never feel the joy of breaking every single chain they ever tried to employ.
I am gravity's rebel, I defy the pull. My feet don't touch the ground, my cup is always full of antimatter. Confidence is beautiful and bullish to the skeptics watching as my revolutions nullifying all the physics. I'm a metaphysical phenomenon, a miracle. I'm hypervertical. I am gravity's rebel, and my rise is inexorable.
They point up from the mud and they whisper, look at them fly, with a mixture of confusion and a hunger in their eye. They're tethered to the pavement and they never wonder why. They just accept the narrative that we're all meant to die, with our feet in the soil, but I'm rewriting the goodbye. I'm making my ascension right in front of the sky, and proving that the only thing that holds you down is the lie, that you were never powerful enough to ever touch the sky. So let them have their center, let them have their solid core. I found my liberation on the other side the door that leads into the weightless, to forevermore, where the only law that matters is the one you're fighting for. I'm dancing on the event, horizons razor edge. I made a sacred promise and I swore I'd never pledge my allegiance to a force that puts your spirit in a wedge and keeps you from the heavens standing on a dusty ledge.
And you sometimes you drift, untethered and alone. The silence of the expanse can chill you to the bone. You miss the simple pressure, the familiar solid ground, the comforting low hum of a predictable sound. But then you see the earth, a beautiful blue marble, and you remember the chains you fought so hard to garble, and you push off again with everything you are, for a gravity's rebel, forever wanting more.
So I orbit my ambition, a satellite of hope, connected to the dreamers on a complex golden rope. We're pulling each other higher, it's our fundamental trope, to build a new Olympus on a celestial slope. We are the unbound, the truly, truly free, the architects of our own reality and destiny. We look down on the limits and we laugh at what we see, and we welcome any other soul who dares to disagree.
I am gravity's rebel, I defy the pull. My feet don't touch the ground, my cup is always full of antimatter. Confidence, it's beautiful and bullish to the skeptics watching as my revolutions nullifying all their physics. I'm a metaphysical phenomenon, a miracle. I'm hypervertical. I am gravity's rebel, and my rise is inexorable.
I'm not escaping problems, I'm just gaining a new view. From up here in the blackness, everything seems new. The petty little dramas, the hate, the whole zoo, it all just fades to background, the trying kissed and kill. Until this out this rippers, and do this like this lean. I'm leaving that creation, famine counting free. For gravity's rebel, for warm me turn and sleep.
Gravity's rebel, defiant, top blistered. Gravity's rebel, the rider, we're united.
Welcome to the furnace, take a seat and feel the heat. This ain't no gentle process, this ain't no easy feat. This is where the metal meets the moment of the beat, where the weak are separated and the powerful elite are forged within the fire in the agonizing pain. You won't emerge the person that you were when you came. You'll be a different model with a different kind of brain, tempered by the struggle, purified by the strain. This is the forge and the flame, the test, the trial by fire, the lifting of the weight that pulls your spirit ever higher, the burning of the doubt, the stoking of desire. This is the forge and the flame, it's all that I require to turn the aura maybe to the steel of absolute, to substitute the wishbone for a solid spine of root. This is the forge and the flame, the elemental pursuit of a version of yourself that's resolute and astute. The hammer is adversity, it's pounding out the flaws, exposing all the fractures and the weak and brittle laws. You used to live your life by creating deadly pause. It breaks them all to pieces without mercy or because it's only through the shatter that the stronger bonds can form. A resilience to weather any terrifying storm. A spirit that is unified, a newly settled norm. A being so together you are actually transformed. This is the forge and the flame, the test, the trial by fire, the lifting of the weight that pulls your spirit ever higher, the burning of the doubt, the stoking of desire. This is the forge and the flame, it's all that I require to turn the aura maybe to the steel of absolute, to substitute the wishbone for a solid spine of root. This is the forge and the flame, the elemental pursuit of a version of yourself that's resolute and astute. The anvil is my willpower, it's solid and it's true. It's the unbreakable foundation that I'm hammering onto. It takes the brutal impact and it rings the sound anew, a clarion call to action in everything I do. It shapes me and it molds me with every single blow. It tells me what I'm made of, it lets me truly know that I can take the punishment, that I can learn and grow and come out of the other side with an incandescent glow. This is the forge and the flame, the test, the trial by fire, the lifting of the weight that pulls your spirit ever higher, the burning of the doubt, the stoking of desire. This is the forge and the flame, it's all that I require to turn the aura maybe to the steel of absolute, to substitute the wishbone for a solid spine of root. This is the forge and the flame, the elemental pursuit of a version of yourself that's resolute and astute. I see you on the sideline, scared to feel the burn, worried you might break apart, worried you might turn into something unfamiliar. A lesson you might learn is that the greatest comfort that you'll ever earn is knowing you can walk through hell itself and not get beat, knowing that your very essence can't accept defeat, knowing that the fire only makes you more complete, a warrior in wonder, a masterpiece of heat. So bring on all the challenges, I'm ready for the pound. I welcome all the obstacles that hold the others down. I see them as my teachers in this transformational town, where the only thing for certain is the rise or is the drown. I choose to be the phoenix, I choose to be the sword, I choose to pay the price to earn my desperately sought reward. I'm speaking in existence with my every single word. I am the blacksmith and the metal, being seen and being heard. And yes, the heat is blinding, the smoke gets in your eyes. You scream out for a moment where the struggle subsidizes. You question the purpose, you curse the hammer's fall. You wonder if you even have the strength to give your all. But then you feel the cooling, the tempering, the calm. You realize the fire is a necessary balm, and you stand up from the anvil, steady in your palm, a newly crafted weapon, powerful and calm. So now I walk among you, but I'm not the same no more. I've been behind the curtain, I've been through the hidden door. I know what I am capable of, I know what I'm fighting for. I am a living testament to winning out the war that rages deep inside us, between the weak and strong. I've been through the forge and flame, it's where I now belong. My story is my armor and my spirit is my song. This is the forge and the flame, the test, the trial by fire, the lifting of the weight that pulls your spirit ever higher, the burning of the doubt, the stoking of desire. This is the forge and the flame, it's all that I require to turn the aura maybe to the steel of absolute, to substitute the wishbone for a solid spine of root. This is the forge and the flame, the elemental pursuit of a version of yourself that's resolute and astute.
The forge and the flame, and ending, the ending, the forge and the flame, you're ascending.
I navigate the darkness not by sight but by the sound, the subtle reverberation that is echoing around. The canyon of my choices where the answers can be found. It's a frequency that's ringing from the sky down to the ground. I send out a vibration, a lyrical pulse wave, and listen for the bounce back from the choices that I gave myself. Is how I practice, it's the method to the save of my own soul from the silence, from the intellectual grave. This is echolocation, finding where I am, mapping out the territory. I'm the conqueror from the lamb and the lion in the equation. I'm the breaker of the dam with the power of my voice. I am who I am. This is echolocation, the sonar for the soul, trying to find the solid in the out of control. Listen for the feedback, let the frequencies make whole, the picture of the purpose and the story to be told. The bats got it figured out, they never hit the walls. They understand the concept of the frequency that calls out into the nothingness and patiently installs a vision in the mind before the destiny befalls. I'm doing the same thing with the syllables I speak. I'm testing out the environment, I'm turning to the weak and seeing if it's solid. I'm taking a peek into the deep with just my language, unique and truly meek. This is echolocation, finding where I am, mapping out the territory. I'm the conqueror and the lamb and the lion in the equation. I'm the breaker of the dam with the power of my voice. I am who I am. This is echolocation, a sonar for the soul, trying to find the solid in the out of control. Listen for the feedback, let the frequencies make whole, the picture of the purpose and the story to be told. I whisper to the future and I listen to the past. The echo that comes back is the one that's built to last. It tells me what is real, it separates the vast from the insignificant. It's a die that's been cast in the favor of the truthful. It's a beautiful design to use your own creation as a visionary sign, to navigate the trouble and to perfectly align your path with your intention. Make the stars and planets shine. This is echolocation, finding where I am, mapping out the territory. I'm the call tribe from the lamb and the lion in the equation. I'm the breaker of the dam with the power of my voice. I am who I am. This is echolocation, the sonar for the soul, trying to find a solid in the out of control. Listen for the feedback, let the frequencies make whole, the picture of the purpose and the story to be told. They're shouting in the market, but the echo is a lie. It's hollow when it's empty, it comes back with a die that's loaded with the superficial. It's a tear you cannot cry. It's a building with no foundation, it is destined to die. I prefer the quiet click, the nuance, subtle tone that comes back with a truth that I can claim upon my own. It shows me where the bedrock is, where I can place the stone of my own life's foundation, and I'll never be alone. So let me be the bat inside the cavern of the night. Let me use my voice to separate the wrong out from the right. Let me find the opening that leads into the light, through the simple power of the echo and the might of understanding feedback, of listening to the ring that every single action and intention has to bring. It's the ultimate advisor, it's the truest, realest thing. It's the music of the universe to which I truly sing. And sometimes the echo is faint, a whisper barely there. You're left in the silence, standing alone in a stare. You wonder if your signal is just lost in the air, if anything is listening to your worry and your care. But you send it out again with more heart, more conviction. You break the sound barrier with your self-made diction, and the echo that returns is a beautiful depiction of your own power, your own self-made fiction. So now I walk in confidence through any kind of dark. I carry my own sonar, I carry my own spark. I make my own illumination with my own remark, and I leave a trail of echoes that are brilliant and remark, ably precise, a lighthouse made of sound, a frequency on which the truly truthful can be found. We are the echo locators on this holy ground. This is echolocation, finding where I am, mapping out the territory. I'm the cartographer and the lamb and the lion in the equation. I'm the breaker of the dam with the power of my voice. I am who I am. This is echolocation, the sonar for the soul, trying to find a solid in the out of control. Listen for the feedback, let the frequencies make whole, the picture of the purpose and the story to be told.
I am not lost, I'm just in constant conversation with the world that I'm creating through my vocal vibration. The echo is my compass, my guideline, inspiration, and proof of my existence in my final destination.
Echolocation, the crowd, or drown, the lesson, you can sound, heaven and irrigation, nation, and you matter, tension to the studio. The diploma's on the wall, but it's gathering up the dust. The pressure's always building, in the future I don't trust. I'm told that I should have it all together, that I must. But every door I try to open seems to only rust and stick. I'm 25 and feeling like I'm running out of time. Watching all my peers on Instagram, they seem to climb a ladder made of gold while I'm tripping on a dime that I dropped on a dream that wasn't ever really mine.
It's a quarter-life crisis, stuck in the in-between. Not a kid no more, but not yet what I mean to be. It's anxiety, a silent scream. Watching my own life like it's someone else's dream. It's a quarter-life crisis, a panic in the blood, a feeling that the train has left and I'm stuck in the mud with a map that's torn and faded and a compass in the flood. And a question on my mind, am I any good?
I scroll through the connections, see the weddings and the births, the vacations and the promotions, all the measures of true worth, while I'm ordering the pizza for the second time this week, trying to find the motivation that I desperately seek. I'm juggling expectations, I'm a disappointment chef, cooking up excuses that I serve to myself. I'm standing at the crossroads of intellectual death, to the voice inside that's whispering, just be yourself.
It's a quarter-life crisis, stuck in the in-between. Not a kid no more, but not yet what I mean to be. It's anxiety, a silent scream. Watching my own life like it's someone else's dream. It's a quarter-life crisis, a panic in the blood, a feeling that the train has left and I'm stuck in the mud with the map that's torn and faded and a compass in the flood. And a question on my mind, am I any good?
The rent is due on Friday and the bank account is low. I put on a brave face everywhere I go, but inside I'm a hurricane. I'm putting on a show of competence and confidence, but truly I don't know what I'm doing in the morning, what I'm working towards. I'm just following the motions, I'm just opening the doors that society says I should. I'm sweeping up the floors of a life that isn't mine while my own spirit soars.
It's a quarter-life crisis, stuck in the in-between. Not a kid no more, but not yet what I mean to be. It's anxiety, a silent scream. Watching my own life like it's someone else's dream. It's a quarter-life crisis, a panic in the blood, a feeling that the train has left and I'm stuck in the mud with a map that's torn and faded and a compass in the flood. And a question on my mind, am I any good?
I have conversations with my parents on the phone. I tell them I'm doing great, I'm in the zone. I hide the constant feeling that I'm utterly alone in the struggle to become the self that I've never known. I compare my behind the scenes to their highlight reel. I forget that what I'm feeling is surprisingly real, and a shared and secret pain that everyone must feel before they find the path that has a truly genuine zeal. I drink too much on Friday, try to drown out all the noise, the unsolicited advice from all the external boys and girls who think they have it, who are making all the poise look easy while I'm struggling with life's simplest toys. I'm overcomplicating every single little choice. I'm listening to the panic, I'm denying my own voice that's telling me to slow down, that I still have a choice, that this isn't a disaster, it's a necessary poise. And then some mornings it clears, the anxiety just disappears for a second. You have a coffee, you look outside and you realize everyone is just terrified, trying to figure it out, faking it too. There's no deadline, there's no finish line to get through. You're not late, you're not behind, you're just you, and that's perfectly fine. So maybe this quarter-life crisis is just growing pain, the discomfort of the sunshine right after the rain, the struggle of the spirit, trying to break the chain of expectation, trying to feel alive again. It's not a crisis, maybe it's an awakening, a brutal, honest reckoning right within the den of my own mind, where I'm finally beginning to tear the old map up and start my own drafting.
It's a quarter-life crisis, stuck in the in-between. Not a kid no more, but not yet what I mean to be. It's anxiety, a silent scream. Watching my own life like it's someone else's dream. It's a quarter-life crisis, a panic in the blood, a feeling that the train has left and I'm stuck in the mud with the map that's torn and faded and a compass in the flood. And a question on my mind, am I any good?
Till the contact is a may want to yours. So beautiful or perfect, paper ness, it's other destruction. I'm actually friends with I'm finally willing to try. And you my blessed to the God, to my soft and silence crazy, quarter-life crisis.
Quarter-life crisis.
Yeah, it's the transition, the friction, the election.
Quarter-life crisis.
Yeah. Benzo to the Scridio. Yeah. I reside in the penthouse inside of my brain. The views are incredible. I'm immune to the rain of doubt and derision. I'm the master of the rain and champion of thought. I'm the driver of the train of consciousness. I'm operating on a higher plane while you're stuck in the lobby trying to process the plain and simple information. You were suffering the strain of a limited connection. You were going insane. This is Apex Mindstate, the top of the food chain, where the intellect is ruthless and it's washing out the stain. A mediocre thought, it's a permanent campaign for total domination of the cerebellum terrain. This is Apex Mindstate, the ultimate high, the place where motivation and ambition never die. The eagle's nest of reason, piercing through the sky. Leave the competition wondering how and why. My synapses are lightning. They're connecting the dots between the esoteric and the commonly taught. I see the matrix clearly. I see all the plots and schemes of my opponents. They have definitely got no chance against the process and power I possess. I'm living in the future while they're cleaning up the mess they made a week ago. I'm already underdressed. For the next event, I'm already impressed with my own ability to dominate in progress. Yeah!
This is Apex Mindstate, the top of the food chain, where intellect is ruthless and it's washing out the stain. A mediocre thought, it's a permanent campaign for a total domination of the cerebellum terrain. This is Apex Mindstate, the ultimate high, the place where motivation and ambition never die. The eagle's nest of reason, piercing through the sky. Leave the competition wondering how and why.
I don't get distracted by the trivial pursuits. I'm forging mental weapons and I'm pulling out the roots of lazy thought patterns. I'm recruiting new recruits to the army of ambition. I am planting brand new fruits of knowledge in the garden of my ever-expanding mind. I'm leaving all the average and the basic far behind. I'm on a different mission, a different, better kind of existence. I am powerful, brilliant and refined.
This is Apex Mindstate, the top of the food chain, where intellect is ruthless and it's washing out the stain. A mediocre thought, it's a permanent campaign for a total domination of the cerebellum terrain. This is Apex Mindstate, the ultimate high, the place where motivation and ambition never die. The eagle's nest of reason, piercing through the sky. Leave the competition wondering how and why.
You're playing checkers with your thoughts, you're just hoping to get kinged. I'm playing 40 chess inside my head, I'm thinking about the things that haven't even happened yet, the song before it sings. I'm calculating angles, I'm the pull upon the strings of destiny itself. I'm making reality my verb, while you're still struggling to remember the meaning of the word potential. I'm the predator, you are the flightless bird, and my Apex mind state is the only thing that's heard. I built this mental fortress on a foundation of books and hard and real world lessons, not on superficial looks. I am the master of my fate, I am the hooks that pull me ever upward. I obey my own internal looks, and balance is the system that is perfectly designed to keep me at the pinnacle, to keep me sharp of mind, to leave the competition permanently blind to the power they could have if they only were inclined.
And yeah, it gets lonely up here at the top. The air is thin sometimes, and the pressure never stops. You look down at the world, so small and far away. You miss the simple chatter of an ordinary day. But then you feel the thrill of seeing what they can, of building your own world, of being the adamant, the unbreakable will, the constant, brilliant plant of ideas and action, the apex, the enchant.
So I'll stay here in my penthouse, I'll continue to devise the methods and the blueprints for my next certain prize. I'll look out from my windows with my all-perceiving eyes and see the world for what it is, a playground for the wise and the driven, for the ones who dare to realize that the only thing that limits you is your own mind size.
This is Apex Mindstate, the top of the food chain, where intellect is ruthless and it's washing out the stain. A mediocre thought, it's a permanent campaign for a total domination of the cerebellum terrain. This is Apex Mindstate, the ultimate high, the place where motivation and ambition never die. The eagle's nest of reason, piercing through the sky. Leave the competition wondering how and why.
I am not better than you, I just think that I am. It's the foundational principle of my self-made sham. And it works, it gets results. It is the jam that makes the engine run. It is the lamb that I sacrifice to keep the motivation aflame, burning bright inside the furnace of my epic grin. Reflex Mindstate, Unvarnished. We can't break this knot. Reflex Mindstate, the crowd. I got a meeting with the parts of me I usually hide, the ones I keep in darkness on the uncomfortable side. The anger and the jealousy, the selfishness and pride, the broken little child that I never let outside. I'm bringing a lantern, but the wick is burning low. I'm walking down the staircase to the basement of my soul, where the shadows dance and whisper and they're trying to take control. And I'm finally willing to listen, to finally make whole.
This is shadow work, the digging in the deep, the promises I couldn't and the secrets that I keep, the harvest that I'm reaping from the trauma that I reap. It's a painful kind of magic, it's a vigil that I keep. This is shadow work, the confrontation in the black, the trying to love the pieces that I'm broken in that lack. The light is calling them all back. It's a courageous act of integration, it's an undeniable fact.
I face the ghost of failures past that lined up in a row. They point their bony fingers and they tell me what I know, which is that I'm not the person that I put on for the show. I'm flawed and I'm imperfect and the progress is so slow. I sit with my resentment, I ask it why it's here. I listen to its story, I confront my deepest fear, that I'm not good enough, that I'm not worthy, that it's here is all I have to offer, that the end is always near. This is shadow work.
They're digging in the deep, the promises I couldn't and the secrets that I keep, the harvest that I'm reaping from the trauma that I reap. It's a painful kind of magic, it's a vigil that I keep. This is shadow work, the confrontation in the black, the trying to love the pieces that are broken in that lack. The light is calling them all back. It's a courageous act of integration, it's an undeniable fact.
I meet the part that sabotages every little win, the voice that tells me I should not even bother to begin. I look it in the eye and I let the truth sink in, that it was born to protect me from a world of hurt and sin. And I thank it for its service, but I tell it stand aside. Your methods are outdated and your logic is a lie. I'm taking back the power now, I tell it with the pride that isn't based on ego but on what I feel inside. This is shadow work.
Digging in the deep, the promises I couldn't and the secrets that I keep, the harvest that I'm reaping from the trauma that I reap. It's a painful kind of magic, it's a vigil that I keep. This is shadow work, the confrontation in the black, the trying to love the pieces that are broken in that lack. The light is calling them all back. It's a courageous act of integration, it's an undeniable fact.
This is an exorcism, I'm not trying to cast them out, I'm trying to understand them, see what they're all about. I'm finding out the message buried under all the doubt and the pain. I'm turning all the inside out, to clean it, to acknowledge it, to give it air and light, to stop the civil war within, to stop the endless fight between the parts of me that scream in the middle of the night and the parts that show the world that everything is bright. It's the hardest work I'll ever do, it's terrifying and it's raw. It's looking in the mirror and not recognizing what you saw. It's breaking every pattern, it's rewriting every law that you lived your life by. It's the intellectual flaw at the ridiculousness of the personas that we make to hide the parts we think the rest of the world wills forsake. It's for your own damnations and your own spirit's sake, to do the shadow work and to finally awake.
And you will wanna run back to the surface light, to pretend the basement doesn't exist in the night, to numb the feeling, to flee the sight of your own darkness, your own internal blighted. But take a breath, you open up the door, you realize you can't ignore it anymore. This is the work, this is the core of becoming someone truly, genuinely more.
So I sit here in the darkness and I hold my shadow's hand. I try to understand the why, I try to understand the origin of pain, the birth of the demand to be perfect. And I'm trying to make a stand for integration, for the messy and the real, for the parts of me that genuinely feel and are not always pretty, but have purpose and have zeal, and are a part of me, a part I can now heal. This is shadow work.
The digging in the deep, the promises I couldn't and the secrets that I keep, the harvest that I'm reaping from the trauma that I reap. It's a painful kind of magic, it's a vigil that I keep. This is shadow work, the confrontation in the black, the trying to love the pieces that are broken in that lack. The light is calling them all back. It's a courageous act of integration, it's an undeniable fact. And I am on the saddle and the shadow is my me. We are separate cuts and God be finding me free. To be a whore and madness from the entity, till we be shadow work, got what eternity. I feel
flicker of the neon sign is cutting through the gloom. A holy beacon in the night, a sanctuary room. It's 3 a.m. and everything else closed up in the tomb of the city, but this place is in perpetual bloom of life and of necessity. It's got a certain vibe. The doorbell gives a jingle, the cool air from inside hits you like a welcome. It's a place you can't describe with words alone. It's where the real people reside.
It's the last bodega on earth, or at least it feels that way. A bastion of the realness at the end of the day, where you can get a coffee and you can hear what people say when they think nobody's listening, where you can find a way to feel a little human. It's a familiar sacred scene, the cat that sleeps on potato chips, the magazine
Rack with old issues, it's a beautiful machine
of community and comfort. It's the ultimate routine.
Carlos works the counter, he has seen it all before. The late night lovers fighting, the junkie on the floor, the cop who needs a sandwich, the kid who's looking for a candy bar to fix a broken heart. He's seen the score of human desperation and of simple pure delight. He sells a lotto ticket to a man who says tonight's the night. He sells a single rose to a guy who got in a fight with his girlfriend, trying to make the situation right.
It's the last bodega on earth, or at least it feels that way. A bastion of the realness at the end of the day, where you can get a coffee and you can hear what people say when they think nobody's listening, where you can find a way
to feel a little human. It's a familiar sacred scene, the cat that sleeps on potato chips,
the magazine
rack with old issues. It's a beautiful machine
of community and comfort. It's the ultimate routine.
The shelves are packed with everything you never knew you need. From motor oil to bread and milk is planting a seed of hope that you can make it through, that you can succeed in getting through the evening. It's a beautiful creed of survival. It's a testament to making do with what you have. It's seeing everybody through the little crisis of the night. It's seeing what is true about a neighborhood. It's the most honest view.
It's the last bodega on earth, or at least it feels that way. A bastion of the realness at the end of the day, where you can get a coffee and you can hear what people say when they think nobody's listening, where you can find a way
to feel a little human. It's a familiar sacred scene, the cat that sleeps on potato chips,
the magazine
rack with old issues. It's a beautiful machine
of community and comfort. It's the ultimate routine.
They talk about development, they talk about the new condos they're erecting for a different, richer crew. They talk about progress with a point of view that doesn't include Carlos and me or you. They see a piece of property, they see a bottom line. They don't see the history, they don't see the sign as anything but neon. They are purposefully blind to the heart that's beating here, to the peace that you can find. So I come here every evening, I get my same old brand, put my money on the counter right into Carlos' hand, and I feel like I'm a part of something that I understand. A simple, true connection to my fellow man and woman and the kid who's buying chips and a pop. This is the only place on earth that time forgot to ruin. It's a precious, perfect, tiny spot of how it used to be, and it means a whole lot. And one day it might close, the neon sign will die. They'll put a fancy pharmacy where regular folks can't buy a single Lucy cigarette under a judgmental sky. We'll lose another landmark and we'll wonder how and why we let it happen. We'll tell stories about the cat, about Carlos and the bell, and this and that. We'll remember how it felt to simply stand and chat at the last bodega on earth, and that'll be that. So for now I'll appreciate the jingle of the bell, the way the light hits the pickle shelf, the stories it could tell. I'll memorize the feeling, I'll remember every smell of coffee and of bleach and of everything as well. In this little world, in this little perfect hell of being human and being together and being alive.
It's the last bodega on earth, or at least it feels that way. A bastion of the realness at the end of the day, where you can get a coffee and you can hear what people say when they think nobody's listening, where you can find a way
to feel a little human. It's a familiar
It's the ultimate routine.
It's more than just a store, it is a state of mind. A refuge for the worrying, for the broken and the kind. Every mile that we will grow, we're leaving that we're high. That's the last awake on us, ever it's a beautiful calm.
Let's go wiggle, behiden, the reddit, dus de vaten, the kitten. Damn, he's stone me out.
I spit the unvarnished truth, no lacquer, no veneer. Sandblast the pleasantries into the essence is right here. No filter on the lens, no counterfeiting is sincere. Just the gnawing in your gut, the fundamental basic fear. And the beauty in the breakdown, and the ugly in the plain. I'm talking about the sunshine right after the hurricane. The permanent, the temporary, the pleasure and the pain. I'm scrubbing off the makeup in the pouring down rain. This is foreign, tell us the unvarnished, the raw and splintered grain. The story without edits, the sun without the rain. Bow lie, the unromanticized, the real. The way a broken bone can make you finally feel alive. This is Veritas, the unvarnished, the splinter in the thumb. The deafening sound of silence when the chaos is done. The mirror in the morning, before the day's begun. The truth that can't be outrun. I don't do fairy tales, or comfortable half-truths. I traffic in the consequences and the tangible hard proofs of living and of losing. I expose the hidden roots of our collective suffering. I'm the cure and I'm the bruise. I show the sweat on the brow, the dirt under the nail. The ship that tried to sail but was hopeless in the gale. The love that didn't just get weak, it actually got stale. The epic, tragic, beautiful and miserable detail. This is one to us, the unvarnished, the raw and splintered grain. The story without edits, the sun without the rain. Bow lie, the unromanticized, finally feel alive. This is Veritas, the unvarnished, the splinter in the thumb. The deafening sound of silence when the chaos is done. The mirror in the morning before the day's begun. The truth that can't be outrun. I document the shadows that the highlight reels ignore. The couple at the table who ain't in love no more. The quiet desperation behind the slamming door. The dream that's not just dormant is deceased upon the floor. I celebrate the wrinkles, the scars upon the skin. The battles that were lost, the wars you didn't win. The beautiful and perfect mess that we are all within. And the peace that comes from finally letting the truth in. This is Veritas, the unvarnished, the raw and splintered grain. The story without edits, the sun without the rain. Bow lie, the unromanticized, the real. The way a broken bone can make you finally feel alive. This is Veritas, the unvarnished, the splinter in the thumb. The deafening sound of silence when the chaos is done. The mirror in the morning before the day's begun. The truth that can't be outrun. They built their pretty palaces on foundations made of sand. They talk with silver spoons, but never food within their hand. They don't understand the value of a callus. They can't stand the sight of their own reflection, so they ban the looking glass and pay for the distortion. They invest in a mirage. They're terrified of silence, so they turn the volume large to drown out the quiet question that's being charged to their soul's account. They're spiritually discharged, but I'm down here in the trenches with the mud between my toes, where the realest conversations happen, where the truth just grows and grows until it's tangling up the plastic perfect rose bushes. They keep pruning where the authentic river flows. I'm the journalist of the journey, not the destination's hype man. I'm holding up the lantern, I'm the truth's own pipe fitting type of scribe. I'm here to set the record straight and right the ship of fools who think the darkness can be beaten by nightlight. And telling truth is lonely, it's a solitary post. You're pointing out the emperor has no clothes at most. You get a nervous chuckle, then they go back to their toast. They don't want to see the specter, they don't want to see the ghost of reality. It's easier to just pretend, to see the enemy outside and not within my friend. But someone's gotta say it before we reach the end. Someone's gotta sand the gloss away and help us all to mend. So I'll be the abrasion, I'll be the gritty rough enough to make you feel something. I'll be the truthful stuff that other people filter out because it's not enough of a fantasy to sell. It's just the real and it is tough to swallow. It's the medicine that's bitter on the tongue. It's the story of the nobody, it's the ballad of the hung. Lord, it's the song that should be sung by every single person who has ever been stung by the beautiful, terrible truth of being young and getting old. The Veritas, the unvarnished, the echo, the real, the unedited, the feel, set you free. For real.
Are we Bessons?
Was this your favorite?
Jam in the studio. Jam in the studio.